Today we're going to talk about public speaking. And some of you are probably thinking, oh no, I don't plan on talking in front of an audience. Well, most of us don't intend on talking in front of an audience like on stage, but there are certain times in our lives that we have to talk to a group of people or do a small presentation in front of a team of people, maybe 5 or 6 people. But we have that fear or anxiety creeping up in us when we know we have to present an idea to a group, even if it's 1 or 2 people. So today we're going to just talk about public speaking and how it can benefit you in everyday life. And it's really important for when you're presenting your marketing plan to professionals to get clientele into your doors. So it's not only just stepping up to the stage, but what you're doing is having that confidence from public speaking. You're going to position yourself as an expert in the area of your modality or business. And what this means is it can translate into revenue for you by providing a lot of different opportunities. So learning how to comfortably speak in public, you will have an informative speech that you can present to your target market, and it builds trust. Now, the one thing I don't like about a lot of public speaking is I kind of associate it with sales, and that's unfair because I think of sales, I think of car salesmen, and that's totally incorrect. But the people you actually have to talk to and follow up with are more receptive to listening to your offer of product and services if you can present yourself in a non-salesy approach and just be informative. And I have seen lots of salespeople who are very successful with their sales careers because they don't approach it as a sales. They're actually providing information to their potential client, and they have done very well for themselves. So the first things first, you need to overcome that fear of speaking to the public. And I will tell you a quick story because I was a very shy, introverted type of person, and I was in a 4-H club called the Suffolk 4-H Equine Club, and the leader, Margaret Brown, decided I needed to actually compete in a public speaking competition. And first off, I didn't do very well of talking on little projects that we had to do within our group, much less in front of a classroom. But she worked with me on this program, and actually I had to present my talk to my team and all the club members, and she sat in the kitchen and kept telling me to speak louder until I got comfortable with projecting my voice and talking to the rest of my club members. Well, needless to say, that had me scared, actually terrified. But when I went to actually compete at the citywide contest, I placed second because through her dedication and hard work and encouraging me to do something that was way out of my comfort zone is something that I'll never forget. I'm truly grateful for it because it has helped me so much with everything else that I have done throughout my career. So when you're starting off, the first thing you want to do is exactly what she did, start small. So if you're new to the public speaking world, your best bet is maybe try to find a few friends, or in my case, like a few members of an association that you're participate with, and just start speaking to small groups and build up from there. Because once you get comfortable, the size of the audience really doesn't matter, and that is really true, just from my own experience. The other thing you want to do is definitely be prepared with your material. You have to know it inside out, backwards and forwards, upside down, the whole 9 yards, because you have to learn how to connect with your audience, and that's having the confidence by knowing your material. And that was so important when I was learning. We had little cue cards, but I quickly learned it was so much better if you were comfortable at knowing what you were talking about, which I did know. I just didn't know how to convey it to the public. But through practice, you will get better. So you definitely have to rehearse this. You definitely don't want to memorize it because otherwise it just sounds almost like a robot. So you definitely want to interact with the crowd. And as you get experience, you can talk comfortably to one person on the left side of the stage and then turn around and comfortably start talking to the person on the right side and make eye contact. But when you first start, trust me, you usually don't do that. You're like staring straight up at the ceiling if you can see the ceiling, or at the floor, or anywhere else but at the crowd when you're first starting. But it takes time. The other thing is, knowing that presentation will help you reduce the stress. And if you have a friend that can be there to support you in the crowd, that's so much easier, because when you're talking and you can actually look at that person or know where they're sitting, you act like that's your friend, or if your friend's really there, then just act like you're having the conversation with them and still remember to kind of move around the stage a little bit. But that way it reduces the stress and the anxiety, and you're able to have a wonderful presentation. And when I say engage the audience, that's where you're really comfortable, and you can kind of have a small little monologue, or you can say, how's everyone doing today? Or you can ask any other question that's part of the presentation, but it lightens the mood, and people kind of sit back and relax, and you can feel the relaxation in the room when people are like, wow, this person is really comfortable with what they're talking about. And it's such a confidence booster for you. So again, if you have trouble with trying to do, and the whole point of learning to speak in front of other people is when you or now have that wonderful opportunity to speak to a professional that you've been wanting to do business with or wanting to network with to get business into the doors or have a working relationship. Being able to present your ideas without stumbling and saying or anything like that is so helpful. And because you're confident, you're going to get the point across very quickly. You'll learn how to engage with the professional. So if they're kind of giving you a slight rebuttal, maybe they're not interested, then you can confidently say, we will have a great working relationship here. So right now it's not a good time. How about if I speak to you about this when you're not so busy? How about if I get with your assistant and we can schedule an appointment in another month? Or you can confidently set up a time and date, and they will appreciate the confidence that you have by presenting your ideas. This will also give you the opportunity to speak confidently to someone you're interested in networking with and be able to pitch your idea very succinctly to that person and exchange names and phone numbers and any other important information to get back together again to iron out the details. If you need assistance with public speaking, a great organization is called the Toastmasters, and they're in just about every city that I can think of, and they are a wonderful group. They will encourage you and give you topics to speak on or discuss. They make it fun for you so that you have a great time. You don't even know you're actually doing a presentation in front of people. So it's a great way to be introduced into public speaking, and also an awesome way to gain your confidence so you can talk to people and not have the fear